Today I want to talk about anger, and there's some people who take this thing to the extreme, and most of the time it comes with consequences that are extremely bad. And anger has really broken up families, broken up relationships. To some extreme extension, it has even gone to a point of breaking down a government, a state, or even a whole country. And today's story is just like that. My name is the Street Prophet, and I want to welcome you guys to this episode. And I hope you enjoy. Always remember to subscribe, share the video with some other people who may be interested in it, and also do not forget to like this video. Just support me, support what we do, because it's still a very young channel. And with your support, I know we can go places. Thank you so much, and be blessed. Enjoy this video. So this story I've always wanted to share with you guys because it's a story that has a lesson, and this lesson will really mean a lot to some of us. Yeah, so guys, just relax and enjoy it. All right. Okay, so there's this young boy. His name was Ricky. This is a true story. It happened around 2007 or 2008. I don't know. I'm not very quite sure about it, but this is a story about this young boy. He was around 4 years, and Ricky lived with his parents. It was just a typical kind of a family. They were doing good, they were okay, everything was nice, and they really enjoyed the life. They were not poor because the dad had a good job in the government, and he even owned a vehicle. It was a very beautiful car. It was black, those posh, expensive looking cars. So he had one of those. And one day, it was on a weekend, one day the father was outside. I think he was doing some work in his garage because he had around 2 cars. And Ricky was playing just near where the father was working. And kids, small boys, he was having fun, he was playing, he was creating games that don't even exist, kids. And so the father was working on another car. He had opened the bonnet. He was looking at, I don't know, maybe there was a problem with the car, so he was just trying to check it out, boys and their toys. So the father was just busy doing his work, and Ricky decided to be naughty. I'm saying naughty because that was not the intention of the boy. But this is what happened. Ricky took a stone and started scratching the father's car. And I've seen this happen. Actually, I've seen this because it has once happened to me. You see, a small boy takes a stone or a very sharp object and starts scribbling on the surface of the car. And as I told you before, this car was an expensive car. And because this dad loved his car, sometimes kids, they go extra mile when they are playing. And it was bad when the father saw it. He became extremely angry. And in his anger, he took Ricky's hand and hit it many times, not knowing that he was using a wrench that was lying on his workbench. Now you can imagine the pain that Ricky was passing through while his dad was hitting him with the wrench. A small boy of 4 years. Sometimes kids are too innocent to realize that they're making a mistake. And what Ricky was passing through that day, only God knows. And this should be a lesson to parents, because as parents, sometimes we, instead of punishing the child, it's like now it's war. And this was a very innocent kid just playing, and maybe He did not even know what he was doing. And the pain was excess because he had to be taken to the hospital. And it was a painful moment for him. Ricky's father realized that he had made a very big mistake. He was hurt and he got confused. And his confusion was, why would anger make him do such kind of a thing? At the hospital, Ricky, the small boy, asked his dad, "Dad, when will my hand grow back again?" The father was in too much pain hearing what his son was saying. Ricky had to be admitted because the damage was severe. He was missing half of his wrist, like all these fingers, they were all broken completely. And the father was extremely sad and in pain. He felt so sorry, like what would have made him react in such a way. So the boy had to be admitted for a while. So the father had to go back to see the rest of the family, who were also in deep pain. And everyone was blaming the father for reacting that much. And the dad went to his garage to see where the car was. And as he was sitting, looking at the scratches, you see, the love of kids are special. On the side of the car, Ricky had written, "I love you, Daddy." Ricky's dad was in distress because his life had now become a plethora of pain, of disaster and misfortune. He did not know what to do. And at that point, he felt like he had completely ruined Ricky's life, in which to some extent, he had done that, but he himself, deep within, he felt damaged. He felt like his life had come to a standstill. What would he have done differently rather than react to a point that he had to smash the fingers of his young boy? And this should be a very good reason why we should always think before going overboard with anger. Because when you react or when you act without thinking twice, 100% there's a probability that you're going to do something bad. Because when this boy was growing old, because he grew, he did not have his left fingers, the whole wrist. And now you can imagine, every time this boy looks at that hand, every time the father looks at his son, what would you think would be happening in his thoughts? Because he felt he would remain like dirty, even though the child was okay, even though the child had found healing, let me call that. Death seemed like an embrace. This man had to he had to talk to someone because he felt like he needed a therapy, because so many times he thought of suicide, to be honest. Because every time he was looking at his son, he felt like his life was undergoing a demolition. What if he had thought differently? He didn't know what to expect next, but sooner or later he knew that his life was different. And throughout his life, there's something that he always said. I don't know what he meant, because this is what he usually used to say, that he felt like he had been baptized in dirty water. That is why his life had turned out to be the way it was. You cannot start to imagine, or decipher what he was saying, because to this point I did not even understand what he was talking about. Because when somebody says that he felt like he had been baptized in dirty water, that is why his life has turned out to be the way it turned out to be. Pain, disgust, distress, demolition of mind. He felt like the whole world was breaking apart. Before you do anything, please just try to control your anger, because when you do something out of anger, you're prone to make a mistake. And this is a mistake that almost costed his son's life. And for this boy had no wrist in his left hand. This kind of pain, just because of somebody thinking that materials are better than life, or materials are better than a relationship, it is so wrong. And this will trick down to a point where we talk about relationship. There are some people who go overboard. A very good example is a young guy went to a school. He fought the principal because the principal said something that he did not like. It should be a lesson to all of us. Before you start thinking of reacting out of anger, please think. Emotions come and go. People have feelings, and these feelings, they change. They're dynamic. And I'm very sure that whatever happened to Ricky affected the whole family. And even the marriage itself was not the way it's supposed to be. Because I know the mother was always angry at this man, and he was always being blamed for whatever had happened to Ricky. Even the other siblings, they were very much afraid of the father, because they thought that when dad gets angry, he starts hitting people with things. So this household did not have the happiness that they deserved. And always, let's try to control our anger. Yes, we have those kind of emotion. Yes, we have those kind of feelings. Sometimes we feel wrath. Sometimes we feel so much annoyed. But it should not go to a point that you hurt someone. All right? I know this. I have even friends who have lost their jobs because of being annoyed to a point they cannot control it. There's this young person, what we write in our CVs. Oh, I can work under pressure. I can work under don't know what this. But now this guy happened to, he was given some work by a supervisor. And this guy got extremely tired. And the manager or the supervisor told him, I just want you to have one more extra hour. Then you finish your shift and we'll pay you overtime. And this guy was like so mad. No, I will not work overtime. This is not the way it's supposed. I did not sign that in my contract. He said a lot of things. And this supervisor was just trying to make him reason. It's okay. I will give you overtime, or tomorrow I'll give you an extra hour. Understand? But now this guy was, no, I don't know what. He started fighting the supervisor. And yes, he fought him proper. The next day, he was told, please don't come to work, because we have found somebody to replace you. He lost his job. I know of people who break things. There's this guy who was playing games. We have serious gamers. And these serious gamers, as all of you know, they buy expensive machines. Their computers, their cameras, their systems, they're very, very expensive. And this guy was playing a game, and it happened that he lost in one of the games. You know what this guy did? He started punching the computers. He broke his laptop. He threw the mouse towards the monitor. He broke everything. The speakers were thrown just because he felt that he was angry because he lost. Now, what do you call this? Is it madness in its high sense, or just stupidity? Because this is just a game you have lost. Why would you have to react like this? Another thing, this is a story that happened in the US. There was this guy who was also a gamer, and I think I don't know if it's 2K or 4K something. He used to collect. He used to play NBA, all right? And he used to buy those things. You know, I don't know what they call it, but when you are playing these games, there's some things you buy or you purchase for the game, all right? And he used to buy plugins, he buy players, he buy a lot of things, but all of this was online. And it reached to a point, this guy loved what he was doing. So most of his time, he was working, all right? But also playing. And when I talk of working, he used to buy these things to a point it reached to around 400 US dollars. No, 400,000, yes, 400,000 plus. And he knew this was an investment, because if he had to sell this thing, maybe he would sell it, reach to a point he would sell them at around $1 million. So it was an investment to him. And this guy had a girlfriend. And one day this guy had gone out, the girlfriend was left in the house. Do you know what this girlfriend did? He went to the computer of this guy and deleted everything in that in the game. The plugins, the system, the game itself, everything. Reason being, he said, oh, this guy is always on his laptop, he doesn't give me time, he doesn't talk to me, he's always busy. So he deleted everything. And once you delete, you cannot retrieve, you cannot recover. You can imagine what this guy felt when he came back. This guy had to scream in pain. He controlled himself because he felt like he should do something wrong to this lady. But unfortunately, the relationship had to end because this guy felt like this is what he was doing. Actually, he used to pay rent using the game. He used to buy good things for himself and also for the lady through this game. And this lady did that. Instead of talking to this young man and told him, please, I need some time with you, I need you to have time with me, I need you to talk to me. Instead of having a conversation, this lady reacted like that. So this guy lost so much money. So please, guys, these stories should make us have lessons. We should not be reacting in anger without thinking twice. Okay? So sometimes it's good to look at the situation. I know it's painful, I know it's angry, I know you would feel like you would have done something differently, but stand back. Think about the situation. What would you do about it? Then talk. Alright? There are so many ways to deal with anger. But when you react, you will lose a lot. Alright? Because that's a relationship that has been broken. That's a family that has been broken. This is a guy that has lost his job. Another guy has lost his precious system. Very expensive laptops and computers and electronics. He lost it because he started punching just because he lost a game. So guys, please do not let the anger go overboard. Some people react in different ways. Some give verbal insults, which is not good also. Sometimes just stand back. Before you react, first think of the consequences. Alright? So guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you also so much for listening. And remember one thing, every scar has a story, and every story has the power to heal or the power to hurt. So choose love. All right? Again, thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much. Continue subscribing, liking the page, sharing. Let's do this. All right?